Baylor, I'm happy to have you on here for a minute. For those of you that don't know Baylor, we've connected because we're having a big event and you're one of the speakers at the big event. And I'm so excited to have you there because you're energizing, your message is great. And I just thanks for jumping on here for a minute today.
My pleasure.
So, as I've gotten to know you a little bit, one thing I've noticed about you from the very first call was anytime somebody asks you something, you're like, I'm in. Like you just say, I'm in. And I want you to just like, is that a thing you do on purpose? Like, is that intentional? Tell me
I
about that.
do because I think obviously thing people need to know about me, like I'm allergic to mediocrity, and what sets you apart from mediocrity is being involved in things, in situations, in events, and experiences. If you want to grow, if you want to learn, you have to be there. There's only so much you can do by just watching or listening. So my mentality has always been like, if I haven't done it or it sounds exciting, don't think about it. Right. And I'm a big believer if it's if it's not an absolute yes, then it's an absolute no. But you're on good people doing good things, you make great things happen. You got to be in with that. Not think about what it looks like, how I don't overthink a lot of things.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
let's go. And and I think the best things in life happen when you just make whether it's in business, your personal life, when you just say, hey, you know what? Why not? We have so much focus on, find your why and all these great things. But I think if more people had a why not mentality, we would actually move forward in our lives.
I love that. I think that that's kind of one of the things I notice about you. And then another thing that you've motivated me about is that, the big event's coming up and you're like, I love this name. I can tell you get excited about it. And then you start doing this, like, do big things. Like, and so you're doing all this kind of stuff. Like, talk about what that means to you and how you're doing this kind of stuff, like going big.
Well, and I think big is a mantra for life. So many of us, if not all of us, comparatively to what we could be doing, are playing small ball. And so we're getting small results. Even if you're getting great results, even if you're the top of your company, the top of your team, whatever, you're still playing small. So to me, this ideology of doing something big means, okay, not just big from what other people think, but like big for me. Like some of the things that we're looking at, like I'm talking to sumo wrestler classes, talking to, shooting Beretta, 550 cal sniper rifles, things I say, okay, what's big to me?
Yeah.
And I think as we move into 2024, as you think about your goals, you should do something right now. If you're listening to this in 2023, like what is something big for me? Meaning something that I've never thought about doing, it's not been on my agenda, or it's been so far out there that I don't feel like I could accomplish it. You have to start doing that right now. Because those you start to find in life, there's no such thing as taking a big step forward, right? It's a bunch of small steps over a consistent period of time. But if you'll put yourself in situations to do seemingly big things, all it's going to allow you to do is realize it seemed big because I hadn't done it. But now that I do it, I realize it wasn't big. I was just under indexing my own abilities all this time. So stepping out, doing something, all you find is, oh my goodness, I'm capable of so much more. And then I think that sets in term the motion that you need going into 2024 to really, truly knock it out of the park and get the big results that you want.
That's big. I love that. That's so good. So I know you go around and you talk at different events and especially a lot of realtor focused ones. Is there anything that you're seeing right now? Like what are the challenges they're talking to you about? Or what do you see out there in real estate and mortgage and all that?
I see two trains of thought, right? I see people that struggle because they're looking at the wrong things. They're looking at all the conditions, all the interest rates, all these external factors, right? And those are real life things. Those are real life adversity. But it's simply one thing. It's change. It will always happen. If you've been in the best market, the worst one's coming. If you've been in the worst market, the best one's coming. The one consistent that you can guarantee is that there will be change, right? And so a lot of people focus on that and they either get pushed out of the industry or they complain and you don't like the life. And then the other subset of people I see, those that really kill it across changes, across markets, are those that say, look, I understand and embrace that there's always going to be uncertainty in the market, but I also embrace the fact that I am certain in myself, in my ability to produce and to win. And you get to only be one of those two types of people. Do some analysis on yourself and say, am I so worried about what's happening out there? Or am I saying, look, that's good. Somebody's still got to win. Somebody's still got to produce. Somebody's still going to make money. Somebody's still going to sell. Why not be that somebody? Because the people that embrace that, you see, not only are they producing better and getting better results, they have more fulfillment and more peace of mind because they're not worried about all the stuff that everybody else is worried about. So getting it out of your head of, I'm going to start worrying about what the market's doing, start saying, look, I understand change is going to happen. I'm going to stay ahead of change because that's who I am and I produce.
I think that's great. One of the things that I see from the outside looking into you, and this is maybe for me a question too. I see consistency with you. You're consistent with a podcast. You got books coming out. You're doing speaking. What tips do you have around being consistent? Anything that you would share? Any thoughts?
You have to, and it kind of sounds a little ironic, you have to eliminate the need for motivation as much as possible. So, if you've ever put a business plan together, or if you've ever worked with somebody on a website, they wireframe things, which is from the top level, this is what it looks like, and here's the pieces that need to happen. And then you ask yourself, based on my actual habits, like who I really am, not what I think I am or who I aspire to be, if I wireframed my 2024, okay, I want to be here, I want to do this, and I plug my habits into those boxes, would those habits get me to my goal? Right? Because if you can start to break your life down and say, taking away all the extra, I need motivation, or I need this, or I need that, and say, will my habits alone get me there? And if not, in your wireframe of your year, okay, I currently don't have habits that are going to get me there. That's where I need to put my focus. Because what you'll start to find is if you can make something a habit, meaning you don't think about it, you can now say, hey, without motivation, without this or that, I can still get to my goals. It makes it so that you can get there. And the reason I say habits are so important is you don't think about them. Like now I record my podcast every morning. I'm on episode 925 today. It's not even a thing in my mind of, do I got to get up and do it? It just needs to get done. Like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get your coffee, you head to work, right? Those are things you don't think about, you need to do. So figure out the areas of your life where you have holes and say, okay, I need to statistically spend 66 to 68 days to make this a habit. And instead of saying, how long is it going to take me to be a morning person? How long is it going to take me to do this? Change the question in your mind right now. Say, look, how quickly could I develop this new habit that is going to serve me for the entirety of my 2024 in my life? Versus saying, how long is it going to take me? It's all small little changes. So if you can start to replace these needs for all this extra stuff and just look at your habits and what you need to develop, it's going to take you about 68 days. That's not think about that right now. 8 days approximately, statistically, research shows, to build a habit that is going to serve you for a long time. That means if you start right now, by the end of February, you could be in a completely different box. And I think it's so important to realize that, because so many of us just think, I'll never be that. The amount of people I hear say, I'm not a morning person. You can change that right now. So replace the motivation with habits. Figure out, literally look at your life where you're trying to get, and ask yourself currently, what habits do I not have that will get me there, and focus on those.
I love it. That is a great answer. I know you have a book coming out that is all the rage. Like it's coming out soon. Like tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about it.
So the new book in February 27th is called No One Prays for the Lion, Resiliency and Results in the Face of Adversity. And kind of like we talked about earlier, we talk about change, we talk about adversity. That is the one promise I can make you in your life that you will face in 2024 is you will face adversity. You will face that every year for the rest of your life. So do you want to be one of those people that walks around saying, I just hope this doesn't happen? Or do you want, it's like, to me, that's like a boxer walking into a fight saying, I hope I don't get hit. Or you could, like I say, look, how do I rebound from adversity? How do I stay to minimize the blow, right? So that I can play offense. And really what No One Prays for the Lion is about is the understanding, especially if you're a realtor listening to this, there's a lot of times when you feel lonely. There's a lot of times when you feel like you don't have support. There's a lot of times when you might not have support. But if you think about like a lion out in the Serengeti, there's no brownie points on how it looks. You never see a lion go attack a gazelle or something and then afterward talk to the rest of the pride and like, I don't know, I kind of feel bad. It just wasn't my best. All that matters is the result. So the book is about how do we get rid of this need for perfection and the appearance of how it looks, and instead say, look, even without support, I understand that I have to eat. Just imagine the results you would get in 2024 if you took everything like a lion to say, look, if I don't get this kill, then I will not eat. And if I don't eat, I will die, right? Now, you're literally not going to die, but imagine if you took that hunger into 2024, how different you would take your appointments, how different you would take your cell calls, how different you would take your follow-ups. If you had that, like, if I don't get this one right now, I will die. If you would put your problem is a lot of people not reaching the levels of their capacity is because you're too comfortable. Imagine having your back against the wall and saying, I have to do this. with or without support. Think about things in your life that you had to do. You don't worry about the support of the troops, the motivate. I got to get it done. So the book is about how do we adopt that mindset of getting it done without how it looks to get the results, regardless of what we're facing, regardless of who's with us or not.
That's awesome. I can't wait for it. When's it drop?
February 27th. Obviously, you'll have yours early, but it'll be in English and in Spanish. It'll be the first time I put a book out in Spanish as
Nice.
well. So
That's
we'll see.
coming out. So Baylor's going to be one of our keynote speakers at the big event, and we want to see all of you guys there. Again, you're going to have over an hour to talk and go deep, and then you and I still have to get together on the big challenge coming up after. But we're going to have some continual webinars and a few things going on. So this is going to be awesome.
That's it. And like I said, if you commit to yourself right now, you're not attending an event, you're not just sitting there. You got to commit to yourself. The one thing that I want for you listening to this right now is 2024 needs to be a year of belief and a year of action, right? I'm tired of people saying nobody believed in me. You can look in the mirror. Everybody right now has a mirror. You look at that, say, I believe in you. And if you believe in yourself, then you can never say nobody believed in you. But if you do believe in yourself, then that gives other people permission to do so. A lot of people, and you look at it from a team standpoint, you say, well, I want them to believe in me first. Nobody's going to believe in you first. That's a reality that you have to understand. But if you believe in yourself, you don't care what they think. You don't care about adversity. But I will tell you this, from a leadership standpoint, everybody wants to follow somebody that knows where they're going. Be sure that's you. Let's get big results in 2024. But that 2024 starts right now.
Right now. I love it. Thank you. That was awesome.